The 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Detroit Pistons as they go up against the Miami Heat. For the Heat, they're looking to come out strong and make their mark early. They have to look at this game as a great opportunity to do just that. And Joel Embiid missed all of last season with an injury. Now that he's getting some action on the floor, Kenny, how do you see him developing?
Well, he's very fluid. You know, he's got great movement, gets up and down the floor for his size. You know, he's got really good footwork for a guy who's been sitting out that long. He's a legitimate 7-footer, Shaq, and, you know, those are rare and hard to find.
You know, I like his game because he can face up, play with his back to the basket, and he's equally comfortable scoring in either position. I like that about his game.
How's his feet work?
Feet work is perpetuous excellence at its finest.
How's his footwork?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
That about does it. Kevin Harlan standing by. Kevin, take it away.
Can you play off one foot?
On the road, looking for a win against an Eastern Conference rival, the Miami Heat are ready to get this thing started. We're in the Palace of Auburn Hills. The Pistons are playing before their hometown crowd here in the Detroit area. We've got some terrific NBA action in store for you today. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, and on the sideline tonight, Doris Burke. And it's the Pistons to start out. All right, let's set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the court for the Heat, Malone is out there with Abdul-Jabbar. Then there's Robertson, and there's Carter. And it's Irving at the 3 slot. Now here's Robertson. And Griffin sends it back. Outside Curry. McGrady, a screen on Carter. Curry passes to McGrady. Rebound by the Heat.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range. And you see the way Blake Griffin plays, he is a force. Very hard to contain him when he gets in close just due to his strength and activity.
Now here's Curry. Vince Carter missing his last shot. Curry with it. Picked up by Robertson. McGrady dishes to Griffin. Outside for Curry. There's McGrady. Good, and Curry gets the assist. McGrady's got the game going with his first points of the game for Detroit.
Excellent feed from Steph Curry.
Outside Irving. The feed to Robertson. The jump hook. Tried to bank it in, but he misses. Heat on D. Outside Curry. Here's McGrady. And it's off from three-point range. For Miami, they've gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Irving against Bird. Kicks it out to Robertson. Back to Malone. It's Vince Carter on the wing. Wants to get it to Malone and does.
I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
Miami shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one.
Yeah, last year, collectively, only 74% from the line.
And that just has to improve, guys. I mean, the free throw shooting is something that has to get better. You're immediately putting yourself at a disadvantage when you shoot that poorly from the line.
Free throw drops from Malone. Fans had a hard time finding their way to the stadium last season for the Pistons, at the bottom in several home attendance categories last year.
Yeah, that's right in Auburn Hills.
I know.
I mean, they used to go a lot when they were winning championships. But to be fair to those fans, it was hard at times to watch the Pistons play. I mean, they could get cold and really struggle on their home floor.
He hits both from the stripe. And about 2 minutes played here in the first quarter. Now we'll go to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Stan Van Gundy.
He has a very specific approach laid out. He told me that they're going to concentrate on working the ball into the paint as much as possible today and taking advantage of what he believes is a significant edge for them on the interior. Guys?
And thank you, Doris.
And for the Pistons, a lot of their woes here at home were due to defense. I mean, their 18-23 home record comes from allowing too many good looks for their opponent.
Robertson against Curry. Picked by Griffin. Curry kicks to Bird. Wants to get it to Olajuwon, and does.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
And the Pistons, how about starting out 2-13 at home? I mean, they did turn it around afterwards, going 16-10 to finish out the season. At least they seem to be headed in the right direction.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Robinson's checked in for Olajuwon. Pierce comes in for Blake Griffin. And Thomas subbed in for Curry. And then for Miami, Malone's checked in for Malone. Mullen comes in for Irvin. And it's Drexler in for Carter. Offensive rebound. And Robinson throws it down hard.
And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yeah, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Now here's Bird. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Thomas goes in. Malone with the block. Drexler passes to Robertson. 15 seconds left to play here in the first. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tracy McGrady. That is his first foul of the game. We've got 13 seconds left in the first quarter. And stolen by Thomas. And now the fast break. Thomas with the ball. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for two. Detroit shooting their first free throws of this game.
Yeah, they're towards the bottom of the league there. Last season, they only shot about 70%.
Yeah, as a group, really a dismal year for them from the line last season, guys.
All right now, gentlemen, two shots. Loose shots.
Free throw good, McGrady. And McGrady drops them both. Six seconds left to play in the first quarter. And here's Drexler outside. And we reached the end of the first quarter. It's Detroit. They're up by 5. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Greg, no uncontested shots for the most part. That's why they've had success.
The Heat trail by 5.
Well, we know prior to last season, the Pistons handed the car keys over to Stan Van Gundy. He had some early hiccups, but overall, I think they're headed in the right direction. He's a proven winning coach in the NBA.
Pierce is out there with Kevin Love. Then there's Thomas. Then there's Stephen Curry. And it's Olajuwon in at the 5, roaming the paint. They're the group Detroit will start the second with. Here's Curry after Julius Erving's basket. Well, with Coach Stan Van Gundy, it was a very successful first year in Detroit. He's a guy who's going to build around defense. That's been his MO.
And Van Gundy has always been a defensive first type guy, Kevin. I mean, the last 30 years, he has probably the best defensive efficiency for a career as a coach. And his teams always play with great emphasis on that side of the ball.
Here's Curry following the score by Vince Carter. Here's Pierce. Misfires after coming off the pick.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
And you know what? Just a little too much heat on that pass for him to come up with the steal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was going to be a tough catch for either one of them.
Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Detroit. Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for the Heat. Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. Here's Malone. Battles through traffic and lays it in. Here's Curry. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. To the paint. And Griffin slams it in.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
Pass to Carter. A step-back shot here. Olajuwon grabs the miss. Early on last year, it was clear Steph Curry was just on another level. Was an MVP candidate right from the start of the season, and he would eventually be voted that award.
And I thought very deserving. You could see how he elevated his play, and so many of us, and so much talk focuses on what he does offensively. So he was ahead of the snake of a terrific defensive group for Golden State a season ago, and that's one reason why he ended up being the MVP.
Now here's Billups following the miss by Hakeem. On the wing, Irving. And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Man, he got fancy with that one, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe trying to give them the momentum boost they need to break this game open.
I tell you what, I like that, though, guys. Some coaches might not want you to make a play like that, but I tell you what, when you got the skills like that, I say go for it.
And with Curry winning his first NBA MVP award, he played the fewest minutes by an MVP in league history, mostly because his team was up by so much, he got to sit a number of fourth quarters.
Looking at who's out there now for the Pistons. Robinson's checked in for Olajuwon. Bird comes in for Pierce. And Tracy McGrady's subbed in for Thomas. And a new group in for the Heat. Malone's checked in for Malone. Mullen comes in for Irving. Clyde Drexler's checked in for Vince Carter. And it's Robertson in for Chauncey Billups. Robinson lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Robinson's got his second bucket of the game to go.
And with Curry and the MVP, there was some pressure with Harden. Relatively close voting, but Curry was the clear winner. Hard to argue with the season he had, leading his team to 67 wins last year.
Tumbo is checked in for Blake Griffin. 1:04 left in the first half. Curry dishes to Robinson. Mutombo in the high post. Unloads from 13. And off the front iron, and in it goes.
Yeah, it's just a smart shot, taking advantage of the mismatch.
Well, with a stroke like that and the height advantage as well, the mid-range J is almost a gimme.
He just exudes a love of the game, guys. You can see it in everything he does. This guy lives and breathes the game.
Now here's Curry, looking for his first basket still in this one.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Here is Robertson. They trail by 3. Worthy's checked in for Miami. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Now here's Curry. Down low. Here's McGrady. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Now it's a 5-point Piston lead.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
And the first half comes to a close. We've got a close game going on here. Pistons lead by 5. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, what do you think the team needs to do differently on the defensive end in the second half?
Well, a little bit more activity, and we just have to be committed to what we do. Our identity to be aggressive, but more consistent with it.
Coach, thanks for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hi again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here, joined by Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Welcome to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Detroit. At the end of one, they were able to end up with a 5-point lead. The second quarter was dead even in terms of their scoring output from both teams, and they still find themselves in a good position at the half. Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Well, they committed to pounding the ball inside, and they were rewarded for it. Points in the paint, those kept the defense honest because teams have gotten really good at running the three-point shooters off the line, so getting it inside was a good attack in the first half.
And over to Shaq. What'd you think about Miami?
Well, their defense was really inconsistent. They get a stop, then turn around and give up an easy bucket. That's why they allowed over 50% shooting. Their defense needs to be a lot more focused in the second half.
And that's it for halftime as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Nice game, great performance by Tracy McGrady.
And even though the defensive pressure and attention was squarely on him in that first half, yet he's still able to be the most effective player on the floor.
But for him, Greg, it's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, we don't expect anything less, and I'd bet he has even more in store for us during the stretch run.
Robertson with it on the floor for Miami. Robertson is out there with Carter. Then there's Irving. Then it's Malone. And it's Abdul-Jabbar in at the 5 spot. Now here is Abdul-Jabbar. Malone kicks to Abdul-Jabbar. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
But it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
It's deflected. Stolen by Bird. Throws it up high. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Dishes to Irving. And for those of you turning in, we're about a minute into the second half. Clock at 6. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Well, you knew things were going to be different in Miami without LeBron. They slowed down their approach on offense, going from one of the more up-tempo teams to one of the slower ones last season.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Irving. And for the Heat, Greg, you knew that they would be different. But, going from top to the second slowest pace, Clark, was a very drastic move.
Yeah, that is a significant change in style. Covered the second least ground in the league last season, according to player trackers. You guys can figure that out.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it was over 16 miles ran per game as a team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, you look back at the 2015 Heat, and the injuries are what probably brought that team down. We can go from Chris Bosh with the debilitating blood clot on his lung and on and on and on. The loss, of course, which was not an injury, of LeBron James. There are a lot of moving parts with that team.
And that's a great point, Kevin. If you take any star off a team, things are going to get difficult. It was impressive that the Heat still managed to stay competitive once Bosh went out.
Bosh was the big injury hit for the Heat, but they had a lot of other injuries as well. I mean, had to use 31 different starting lineups last season, and 20 different players started at least one game.
The Pistons making a change here. Love's checked in. And we're about a minute and a half here into the second half.
And injuries are something that you can't plan for, but you can prepare for them. And hopefully the Heat can avoid injury woes this season. If they can, they at least have players who have been through that struggle. Whoa!
Talk about putting something extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, Clark, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
I'm startled that he would even try something like that at this stage of the game.
Irving with a clean look. They get it back. Malone kicks to Robertson. There's a minute 47 left in the third. Carter against Pierce. Good ball movement here by Miami. Shot clock at 5. That drive by Carter. Excellent D there from Pierce.
Hey, I like creativity and a circus finish as much as anybody. But you better be sure you got a chance to make it.
Here's Olajuwon, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's going to go on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force him to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Roof shots.
And that one falls for Olajuwon. Robinson's checked in for the Pistons. And then for Miami, Malone's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar. Clyde Drexler has subbed in for Carter. And Olajuwon drops them both. The Heat trail by 3.
And Detroit was a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
Clock at 4. The Heat need to get a shot off. And it's Drexler missing. Detroit leading by 3. Thomas passes to McGrady. And he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
And, Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way, as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time.
All right now, gentlemen, truth shots. Roof shots.
And that one falls for Olajuwon.
He's really giving them fits. They just can't find an answer for Hakeem Olajuwon. He has 9 points, and he's added to his totals by picking up 3 points at the line as well.
Yeah, that'll balance out that stat sheet nicely. I mean, you always want to see at least a few points from the free throw line.
Curry's checked in for Tracy McGrady. Here's Robinson. A great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and nasty jam.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
Robinson, a screen on Robertson. Curry dishes to Robinson. To the middle. Irving with the steal. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Drexler outside. Three-pointer. And yes, sir, that one drops.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
And Curry, here we go. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Curry.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Here's Drexler for the lead. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
Oh, what a monster shot to close out the third. They've taken the lead going into the final quarter.
Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. And the Pistons with possession here. They trail by 1. They've got Bird. Griffin is out there with Robinson. Then it's Tracy McGrady, and it's Curry in at the point. That's the group for Detroit right now. Here's Bird. No good. And the Heat going the other way now. Now Billups. Pass to Mullen. Shoots the three. Rebounded by Tracy McGrady.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, you may not be as lucky next time down if you're the defense. You cannot allow him to get those kinds of looks.
And here is Billups. Carter outside. Outside Worthy. Puts up a three. It's rebounded by David Robinson. McGrady against Billups. Puts it up from 12. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot two. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Pistons.
And they haven't been pushed around in the paint at all in this game. They have been the aggressors.
Something else they've done is force a lot of mistakes defensively, and they've been turning those turnovers into points.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
No good on the free throw. And the Pistons making a change here. Olajuwon's checked in. And then for Miami, Malone's checked in for Worthy. Irving comes in for Mullen. And it's Robertson in for Chauncey Billups. Good on the second free throw.
And they're drawing more whistles and working their way to the line here in the second half.
And guys, I think it's exactly the right thing to do with the lead. Keep going at defenders and find a way to get yourself to the line.
Here's Robertson.
All right, now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
First one falls for him. Paul Pierce is checked in for Detroit. He doesn't get the second one. The Pistons leading. McGrady kicks to Curry. First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
Greg, those are always tough to judge, but I think the official got that one right.
McGrady passes to Griffin. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
That's good.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
All about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks their coach drew up.
One shot. One shot.
That's good from Blake Griffin. A little over a minute and a half of the fourth quarter gone now. Carter outside. He dishes it to Robertson. Malone with the screen. He lobs up the alley-oop pass, and then Carter with the dunk.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
And guys, mark that play right there, because that could be the one that leads to a surge to break this thing wide open.
Now here's Robertson. Abdul-Jabbar up top. Moving against Pierce. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
You love the closeout on that possession.
Excellent defense. Active, and he made it a very tough shot for him.
McGrady kicks to Griffin.
A little bit of a magic act here, pulling off the Houdini to make that catch and slam.
Stupendous alley-oop.
I think the crowd is still stunned by that one. Yeah, it looks like he saw some things out there that need to be adjusted, and he's going to take a break here and talk it over.
Hey, you know, coaches sometimes need a break in the action to rethink and retool a bit. Anytime you're in that situation, it makes sense to use the timeout.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He urged his players to keep fighting, saying, "We're right there, but the margin of error has shrunk. We've got to play aggressive and smart." Guys?
Thanks a lot, Doris. 1:31 left in the fourth quarter. McGrady against Carter. Malone, no luck.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there. And he's just going all out to get the second chance points. Just a terrific finish.
There was no one that was going to prevent MGA from converting that one.
Well, clearly this is the kind of game that could come down to one or two plays, and he wants to be the guy to make those plays.
We've got 1:18 left to play in the final quarter. Griffin a screen on Carter. Here's McGrady, and he comes off the screen and spins it through.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Absolutely, Kevin. I mean, that took the defender right out of the play.
.110 left in the fourth quarter. Carter outside. He feeds it to Abdul-Jabbar. Shoots from 12. And the shot is long.
and not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
Curry with it. Picked by Griffin. Shoots off the screen. A shot by McGrady, no good.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
That one's good, and the Piston lead is cut down to 2 on the bucket from Irving. Clark, they'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see some long possessions out of them going forward.
As clutch a shot as I have ever seen.
In a word, gutsy.
Robertson drives in. Curry with some nice D. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock, and that's an intentional foul. Bird, he's checked in for Paul Pierce. Out of bounds, Miami takes possession.
Just didn't get his hands up in time on that one. They weren't on the same page there.
Carter against McGrady. Pulls up on the elbow. Buries it. And he has brought them to within 2 points. 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. And he commits the intentional foul.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Yeah, they have to extend the game. I mean, plain and simple. Use every second you can on the clock here.
First free throw is good, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 4-point ball game.
Clutch free throws there. That should ensure they're going home with the W.
Kicks to Carter to the inside. Malone dishes to Abdul-Jabbar. Carter for 3, sinks it. And what a sensational bucket to bring them within 1.
Man, they came out smoking here from beyond.
And Greg, as hot as they are from out there, absolutely no reason at all not to just keep letting them fly.
They foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
But there was no time really to be selective. Stopping the clock was the priority.
Good on the first, and that will put them up by 2. Second one is good. Being both at the line, it's a 3-point game.
Those were pressure-packed free throws, and he looked as cool as he could be. So big to give them that 3-point lead.
And so it's the Pistons who come out on top here. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as Clark, they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal.
Yep, and it might not be the way a coach would have drawn it up or wanted it to end, but these fans love it.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Well, Blake, tell us about the energy out there tonight. It seemed like there was a ton of intensity on the floor.
Yeah, that's something we talked about. We talked about not being complacent, settling for jump shots, talked about getting to the hole and playing stuff on defense, and I thought that's what our guys did tonight.
Thanks for your time, Blake. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Doris, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Clark, Craig, and Doris, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
And Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Let's take a look at our Jordan player of the game.
A tremendous night of shooting the basketball for him tonight. He was nearly 60% from the field. Ernie, 60. That's Shaq-like numbers. Okay, that's Kenny Smith-like numbers. I'm telling you, this guy was outstanding. I love the way he shot it all over the place.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this crowd. Wow. I'm getting jealous, and he feeds off that support. Once they got behind him, he became unstoppable, man.
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.